These fashion illustrations are great for fashion enthusiasts or anyone who wants to add some bold color in their space. My link tree, linktr.ee/CATtheMinion, gives you easy access to Etsy and DeviantArt. Clockwise from the top right, rockin' red boots, fire, red shoes, and plum tree futuristic. The original drawing of fire is in a private collection and is no longer available. You can find red shoes in the flat drawing section of my Etsy shop, and rockin' red boots and her sister plum tree futuristic in the flat watercolor section. Use Etsy coupon code 3star17 to get 17% off your purchase of 3 or more items. Additional promo codes are available to visitors of my Patreon. You can get prints of red shoes and fire in my DeviantArt shop. Just click on them, and when you get to the individual page, click the Buy From button. Once you're in the print page, you can select from the menu various fine art prints with optional framing or small art gifts like mugs, postcards, and magnets. Thanks for getting stylish with me. The video you're here to watch starts now. All right, welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is Cat's Hit the Deck reviews. It's been a while since I've done one, but you know, I'm not out there buying a deck every week, so this is how it's gonna be. I've been using this for a while now, and I feel like I've gotten used to this deck. This came out in 2020. Or at least it's copyright dated 2020. So this is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. Now, this might seem familiar because this is the same pair from the Work Your Light Oracle. So it's sort of like a sequel, and the cards are very similar. It's printed by Hay House, which usually does cards about the same size and thickness. All of the Hay House decks that I have, same size, about the same card stock. So this is a little unusual because instead of opening like a traditional box, like a checkbox, this has a fancy diagonal situation. So in the book it says that you can, you can stick the cards on it like this when you're reading them, and so on. For whatever reading you're doing. I don't do that, but it's an option. I actually don't really like this box personally because you can only really put one deck in it at a time. And normally I store this deck in this box with this one, and I have something else in here. But I just wanted to show the box how you would find it when you bought them. So it says your body is a portal. And some information down on the bottom. Alright. So this isn't a separate inner box, it's just it's all attached. It's just sort of a panel to hold up the exterior. So it's nice and doesn't move around much. It says your heart is a portal on the bottom as well. The same phrase. Okay. So we have a book here. The guidebook. It's the same size as the cards, and we have, including the about the author, it's 137 pages. So it matches the front of the thing. It's got pictures of the cards. There isn't really a special order for these. They're actually just in alphabetical order, which makes it a lot easier to find them in the book. So unlike this one, I wrote the numbers of the page number in the book on the cards when I was learning it so I could find them, but this one I didn't really have to. So you can see at the beginning it shows you different spreads you can do with that V-shaped lid. So Oracle box as technology. So if that works for you, then so be it. For me, it's not my favorite box, and I kind of don't enjoy the deck that I'm storing in there, but I don't have a bigger box to put it in yet, so this might end up being a gift box for somebody at some point. But I like the deck. It's just the box is impractical for me the way that I'm using them. So I'll show you. I'll shuffle these on camera so you can see how they move afterwards, because I've got them in order. But I just want to see the sort of, you know, roughly the weight of them. They're pretty thick. They have sort of I guess a satin finish. And then we have a geometric situation here. This deck has a lot of pink and blue, which is the same as with this deck. There's a little bit more pink going on. You can see that we have geometry here with the double triangles as well. I feel like this is not really a sequel, but for me it's basically. Some of the cards are kind of similar too. And we'll see that on the Work Your Light cards, it's got a cut section down here that's white with the writing on it. And in this deck, the cards tend to be a little darker, and there's this sort of grayish, gray tone lavender color down there. So if you're blending these decks together, which I was compelled to do by my higher self or whatever for the first few months that I had them, you can tell which deck is which without looking at the back, just by the fact that that is a different color. I think it's slightly taller too. Yeah, this one, the bar at the bottom is about 1 millimeter taller than in the Work Your Light deck. So I'm just going to go through the cards. I'll move the camera, so you'll have to hold on to your lunch, because I'm going to aim it down directly at the cards and flip them over in order according to the table of contents there. Just so you can see them and any comments I might have about them. At this point, there's some cards that I haven't seen that much while using it yet, but I've used it enough to feel fairly comfortable with it. And again, because a lot of the cards are similar to the Work Your Light, which I've had for at least 3 years now, it has that sort of familiarity. Let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit without turning off the camera. Okay. That's about where I'm going to be with this. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let me do it this way. Alright, so a new Earth, it's happening. Keep holding the vision. You can see the imagery here. I mean, if this is Earth, then you'd be looking at it from a distance. It kind of looks like Io, though. Your life is a canvas. Artist manifestation, creative accountability. It's almost like this person is sort of Minecrafting this area in front of them. Alright. 3D graphics. Okay, so you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north, which is interesting because this looks like Saturn. Although technically that looks like the red spot on Jupiter, and Jupiter does have rings as well. Face your true north. So you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. This card has come up a few times when I've used this deck. We have a little bit of electricity here, sort of twins in a space portal, giving a little bit of Gemini energy, perhaps justice. Just depends on where it comes up in the reading and in what you're... Oh, I've got some I don't know if it's going to show up. There's some wrinkling on this card. I think I was mid-sentence and stopped, but that's fine. Just depends on what you're trying to get out of the reading. So you've got the love, Hadarian energy, codependence, and boundaries. So we have some, like, our energies are overlapping. Like, where do I begin and you end kind of stuff going on here. Whale and Orca elders. Oh, am I doing this backwards? Oh, I'm doing this backwards. Well, I guess we're just doing it backwards. I had them in order. Failure. So I'm just doing it backwards. Whale and Orca elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. This, oh, there's an orca there and like a humpback whale. There's a gate here and some dolphins back there. This has a similar energy to the whale card in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. This idea of like deep emotional energy or deep resonance. So we're dealing with frequency here. This sort of Neptunian energy. Weight of the world. Boundaries. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. Right. It's sort of coming up for air energy there. Didn't mean to do these backwards, but whatever. I haven't seen this card that much when I read this deck yet. It's We the Hathors. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Hathor is a cow goddess, if I remember correctly. So take that as you will. Sort of resource energy. Pentacles. Water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Okay, this is the self-care kind of situation. Wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. Okay, this one actually goes this way. To Spiral Galaxy. I haven't seen that card that much because I would remember that sideways situation there. That's pretty cool. Sort of out of time for a minute. So we have the Void. Stop, embrace winter, the great cosmic womb. So this is like a black hole here. Trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. There's the figure moving through this landscape here. It's like a Zen garden, doesn't it? Surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. I haven't seen this one that much either. Okay, so we have a masculine and a feminine. Sort of looking at each other. I think that's just sort of like a physical world representation of that, but we can see that we have this paradise kind of situation here. This sort of is like allowing, like overcoming a shame energy. I can see that happening in a reading. So there's many star cards in this deck. So we have Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the Light by staying grounded. This looks like traveling through a wormhole kind of a thing. The sound barrier or something. This is again, Cosmic Ancestor. It's like tapping into your own DNA. Star Family. You're part of a team of souls calling support. So this is like everybody in their little pods going out. And we have Star Brother. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Okay, so this is... It's a little bit Gemini energy, but it's kind of like... Who's my squad car partner? Like, we're on a... Whoever you're sitting at the table with is your partner for the semester, that kind of thing. So we have star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. Okay. So sort of, like vibrational healing. Star ancestors. Hidden secrets, lost wisdom, and look a little deeper. Okay, so we can see in the clouds there's some figures there. Pretty much any time you see a pyramid on any card, there's this idea of ancient wisdom. The 7 star sisters, so that's the Pleiades. Birthing, creations, tapestry of life, and expression. Could also be shorthand for the muses. But we see that the number 7 comes up a lot, and 7 sisters is not an uncommon theme. You think of like 7 brides for 7 brothers, or Ariel and her 6 sisters. I'm sure there's other examples. In some fairy tales, it was a sister with 6 brothers, like in the 6 Swans story. So the Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. Now, I think Mintaka is one of the planets around those infamous star systems, whether it's Orion or Sirius or whatever. So let me just check that, because I don't remember where exactly. Oh, it just says a water-based planet. Doesn't say where, though. Well, that's some bullshit. That's not very accurate. Okay. Portal. Doors are opening, you decide, rewards, and wild card. This came up in one of my readings recently. This is pretty epic. It's sort of a version of a Stargate. And it kind of it's like the Sea of Holes, but it's also, like, if you read the Chronicles of Narnia in chronological order, the sort of like the original way to transition to Narnia was through, like, basically a Sea of Holes. It was like a bog with different puddles in it that they would jump through, and that's kind of what that makes me think of. Of course, now that I started another segment, the battery decided to go into the red. So, perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. This is actually the Earth there. We're seeing, you know, seeing things from a different viewpoint. How does it look from further out? How does it look from further in? So it also says common ground. Which makes me think of electric, right? Common ground. Grounding wire. Messenger. Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Okay. I haven't seen that one this much. These rocks coming out of here look a little bit like wings. Notice how there's no... I guess there's a little bit if you look closely, but there's... At first glance, there's no face, and we just have the throat chakra shining out. Lost Lands. Soul Memories and Gifts. You've done this before. This all looks like Atlantis Underwater. Reminds me of Sonic 2 with Aquatic Ruin Zone. Every time he gets a bubble, he's like, oh, ah! So loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction. It says let God in, but, you know, depending on what your belief system is, you know, apply as necessary. This has those two, like, twin bodies on it again, like one bluish and one less blue. It also kind of looks like Alice falling down the rabbit hole. Like, this is... There's, like, a little bit of a color shift because of the time delay. Okay. I haven't seen that card yet, I don't think. So, lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Okay. Full of stars. I haven't seen a bunch. Usually, I feel like I get the same, like, 12 cards every time I use this deck. So, karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, and soul growth. Okay. Conflict. So, it's sort of like we're from different planets here. And then Orion in the background. Interesting. Interesting. Jump in. Oh, okay, this is like an eyeball, but it's a pool and there's somebody splashing. Andromedan energy. Say yes to change. This is like the Fool. Like, not just taking a leap, but like a flying leap. Going the distance. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings for Inner Earth. Okay. So there's this whole Hollow Earth, Inner Earth situation, but there's also the idea of your inner, like, metaphorically inside yourself. New solutions and beginnings. Okay. Grounding. I'm sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. I've gotten this one a couple of times. It's very polarity and duality. Darkness and light. That's a neighbor's dog's there. Sort of a aggravated. I remember. Soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. It's just sort of related to the readings that I did not that long before recording this. I'm just sort of getting an idea for... Just gonna pretend that we don't hear those dogs barking. A lot of layering and pink and blue coming together here. Okay. Heraeth. Or Heraeth. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced. Longing for home and homesick for the stars. So here's a person, and they're sort of looking off into this galaxy area. This reminds me of, in particular, the... Okay, so this is the Starseed Oracle. It reminds me of the Syrian Starseed Tarot, not related. Four of Cups, which is a sort of similar imagery and has the essence of, I don't like it here, I want to go home. Which is exactly what this card is doing. Alright, so we have the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love. Oh, it's like boobs over here. But we do have, you know, red... I almost said terracotta. Which is funny, because terracotta. I don't know why my head did that. That was really funny. Probably still thinking of, like, milk and cheese because of the boobs over here, but... The Grand Tetons. It's really distracting. Anyway, red because of Mars. Dusty and everything. And again, if you're dealing with Aries or Mars energy, one of the aspects is aggressive and the other one is more diplomacy. There's a duality there. The Golden Children. Ooh, that reminds me of that movie, The Golden Child, with Eddie Murphy. That was like, I hadn't even heard of until I found it on YouTube. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Okay. It also makes me think of, like, if you have an inner child wounding, it's like your inner child is tarnished, but gold doesn't tarnish. It's like you could put like a crust on it, but once you clean it and heal the crust, it's not rotting out underneath, which is an apt metaphor, I think. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Okay, so we have a character down here, and we have a gap between where the path picks up. You know, you can't just figure out where other people have gone already and walk on that. I think I just hit the lens with the card. I'm gonna move this over. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites and extremes of life. Is that? Oh, okay. It looks like a character holding like a small child or something. Extremes of life. So that'd be like life and death. And it also says the holding of opposites. Interesting. It's like a liminal quality to be. It's sort of Schrodinger's cat of something. Of existence. Empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. Ooh, the empath curse. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what the fuck is me and what the fuck is y'all? Oh man, I wish I had thought of that before. That's great. Earthed. Learning how to be human in the world but not of it. Okay. You know what this reminds me of? In the movie Help, the Beatles movie in 1965, for some reason they don't say grounded for electricity, they say earthed. So they go see the mad scientists to help them, and the fat sidekick guy is like, he's not earthed. And then George asks them, he's like, what's your electric bill like? And he's like, well, it's sort of long counterfoil. That movie's so good. Some high quality comedy there. So you have Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. Looks like somebody bungee jumping in. It's like, oh, you want to learn Earth School? Like, yeet you down from the cosmos. That's what we're all here to do here. Earth pulsing. Pulse of the mother. Slow down. Time in nature. Okay, so we have a body who looks like it's being reabsorbed into the flowers. But it's just this idea of releasing all of your toxic energies because the earth is strong enough to transmute them. You know, sort of get in line with that. I don't know if it's the Schumann resonance or if that's something that's not good, but I think it's like 7 hertz or something. You gotta slow down a little bit and get into the vibe. Like, realign yourself with that pattern so you're not flapping around like crazy. Double mission. Lightworker Starseed. Serve the world by being you. Okay. This is one of those essences that's really frustrating, because it's sort of like, it doesn't matter what you do, it matters where you are, because you're just supposed to exist in that space as yourself and transmute it that way. But then it can be this struggle of, like, I'm stuck here, nothing's happening, because it seems like you're not doing anything. Right? There's other meanings there besides that, but that's just something that made me think of. Deep cellular healing. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Okay. This looks a little bit like the Hall of Records, but it could also be a hospital. A temple, which is where the healing should originally take place. So we have cracked open. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. This card reminds me of a thing that I'm not really supposed to be showing yet, but I can anyway, because it belongs to me. I don't know if I got... I think it was sort of a separate genesis for the idea, but I probably... Oh yeah, it was separate, because I didn't get this deck until like a couple years after I drew this concept. So it would have been a coincidence. Hang on. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Okay? So the light is escaping as the shell cracks. But this reminds me of this card from my not yet completed Angel Oracle deck that I'm making. So this is my Lucifer card. You can see that he's cracking open and the light is coming out. But this has more to do with sort of like existing in the darkness while being a light being and being your own source of light and shape-shifting and all that crap. So that's just what that reminds me of. You can see that the imagery is somewhat similar. This is like photoshopped and this is Sharpie, so that's why it looks different. Alright, where the hell? I'm gonna put it back in the stack where it goes. I've gotta finish these, but I'm only about a third done with them. I had so much else going on for the last couple months that I'm still only on number 18. So, alright. Moving on. Correct. The Courageous Peony. This pops out for me all the time. Multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Sort of like the flower that stands up taller, gets plucked, but having the strength to keep trying, even though you know that your nature is more delicate. The Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So you can interpret prayer how you want, depending on your religious inclinations or lack thereof. It's more, I would take prayer to mean more of a focused, energetic intention. Let's put it that way. It's sort of like in Devotion and Potency, it's like in the movie Ghost, where I think his name is Vincent Schiaparelli. I want to feel like I'm pronouncing that correctly. Or he's in the subway and Patrick Swayze's annoying him into telling him how to push physical objects. And he's like, you have to take all your love, all your hate, all your emotion, and push it into that one like pinpoint of your fingertips in order to sort of manifest the stuff. And that's kind of what's going on here. Child of the Cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. This reminds me of the Indigo card in the Syrian Starseed. Tarot, which is basically in place of the Magician. There's also a Child card in a similar position in the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And it's sort of going back to the idea that the inner child is your higher self in disguise. The intelligence of the universe lies within you because you're a fractal. You're just a little piece of the universe pinched off. You're connected to that. You're a trail of... You're like a tributary of that river of consciousness. Okay? Couldn't find the record button for a second there. Called Soul Gifts and Training, It's Time to Step Up. So loud. Speaking of calling, someone's off on their little motorcycle or crotch rocket, whatever. Some people do receive a calling. They're like, this is my destiny and this is what I'm gonna do. And I thought I had that when I was younger, but I was wrong. But it's sort of like everything you've been through, whether it was a side trek or you thought it wasn't useful, all of a sudden all these skills mash together and it's like, oh my god, all of this goes together and equals this thing, and this feels like the most right thing ever. So it could be like, or it could be something you just happen to fall into and you're like, oh my god, this is like everything I've ever been through has made it up to this point, and like now it all makes sense. Instead of like, you know, having the directions ahead of time. Breath of the Cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Okay. This reminds me a lot of when I say the Magician inverted, because when the Magician is inverted, you're trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the universe. Right? You're trying to force things to come into being instead of doing your work and then giving the universe time to unroll things in sort of Swiss time precision, which may seem too fast or too slow from your perspective. But essentially the universe will match your donation once it realizes what vibe you're on. And that's what we're dealing with here. The Blue Flame. Got a spindle of light here, a person. Astral projection. Anyway, spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Oh man, now this battery's going dead too? God damn it. That's weird. Integration time. Okay. We're in a doorway. We're opening a portal. We're seeing something that we never thought we'd see before, right? Tingling in the brain. See, I've got a few more cards. Hopefully I can finish this before the battery dies. Big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary and inspired ideas. So Pleiades again. I think this is what this star cluster is going on up here. This looks like sort of neurons tied together, but it's... And they have this sort of two pillars situation. So whatever that means for you. And then we have a reflection. Again, some of these cards I haven't seen that much yet. Baby steps. This one looks like the portal card, but it's sort of zooming out to see like all the steps it takes to get the fuck up here. And then sort of zooming out to see where you're actually headed to. But it's sort of like, in order to appreciate the little tiny steps, you have to zoom out and see like you didn't think you were going anywhere by just putting one foot in front of the other, but look how far you've come and look how far you're going. So baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. This is like another inner temple kind of a situation. Interesting. There's sort of a navigation and alignment as well with that. Activated Earth. Power places, ley lines, and trust where you're led. Okay. So this is sort of learning to it's sort of like learning hotspots, learning vortexes, learning vortex and portal energies, flowing with the energy instead of fighting against it. And this is that new Earth card that I pulled at the beginning and then flipped the deck around. So that's what's in this deck. Hopefully that provides a little overview with some helpful commentary. Oh yeah, I don't keep that in there anyway, so let me just... It's back where I keep it. Yeah, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Why is that backwards? Comment, check out my playlists tab, and stay groovy, and god damn it, and we'll see you later, bye. CATtheMinion energy work is focused on building a community around creativity and connectivity. Connect to new friends, the universe, and yourself. Shift your perspective of everyday life. Alleviate the stresses of daily life by tapping into self-expression. Help me build my offerings around your needs by investing, interacting, and brainstorming new things we can do. Your financial contributions via donations, purchases of goods and services, and participation on Patreon allow me to pay mundane bills, upgrade to better interactive services and equipment, and to buy art supplies and materials. Additionally, your support helps me pay it forward to charities, other energy workers, and artists, and to gain more visibility so our community can reach even more who need it. You can find a number of the goods and services I offer by clicking the links from my website, cattheminion.wordpress.com, or from my link tree, depending on your preference, linktr.ee/cattheminion. I'm offering original art pieces, digital downloads, art prints, merch, tarot readings, divination tools, templates, coloring books, a dark poetry book, YouTube content, self-care encouragement, and more.